Do you struggle with saying no? Have you found your schedule to be so busy and wonder, who made my schedule? When really it was you. Who put all these appointments in here? And some of the things you might not even be interested in doing anymore, but you feel like you're committed now that you said yes. If you tend to be an overachiever, a people pleaser, a helper, then this video is for you. Saying no is a boundary that can be really difficult to enforce, especially when we're conditioned to say yes. We think that we're being a good person when we're saying yes. We want to help others. We want to be generous with our time and with what we're giving. And that's the reason we struggle to say no, because we make it mean that we'll be selfish, a bad person, we're going to disappoint people, let them down, we'll be judged and not belong. When you say yes, you're saying no to something else. So take a minute to notice what it is that you generally say yes to, and what is it that you're saying no to by giving that yes. I imagine it's likely saying no to yourself, to rest, to your family, to your health, physical or mental, to having that space and time for you. But check in and see, what have you been saying no to by saying all of these yeses? And on the flip side, something to start thinking about is, if you're saying no to an opportunity that comes your way, what is it that you're saying yes to? It's likely giving back to yourself, giving back to your family, giving back to your health, mental, physical, wellness, maybe even financial health, by saying no. So I'm going to give you some tips here to start practicing saying no, especially if it's not a regular thing for you to do. So the first tip is to pause. When anybody asks you to give your time or to give of yourself, pause before responding. And one way that can make the pause easier is to take a breath and then say, thanks for asking, I'll get back to you. And you can give them a specific date. I'll get back to you in 5 minutes. I'll get back to you by the end of the week. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Sometimes even if it's a phone call or a text, hey, thanks for asking, let me get back to you in 5 minutes. Even that 5 minutes will give you a bit of space. That way you're not automatically responding to the yes. Tip 2, while you're in that pause and space to reflect, check in with yourself. If I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? Or if I say no to this, what am I saying yes to? Also check in with your body. What is it feeling? Does it feel like you're energetically pulled towards this opportunity? Or does it feel tight and constricted? Do you feel like you want to say yes to help them, but you don't actually want to do the thing? So take this time to do some self-reflection. And one thing I like to say, or have as a school of thought, if it's not a hell yes, it's probably a no. So take that time to pause and check in with yourself before getting back to them. And that will allow you to think more consciously and intentionally about, do I want to say yes or do I want to say no, versus your automatic reaction. Tip 3, keep it simple. When you do respond, you don't have to go into a big explanation. You don't need to lie. Just simply say, thanks so much for the opportunity. I'm not able to commit at this time. Or I'm not willing to commit at this time. Or, hey, thanks so much, but it's not for me this time. So you don't need to say maybe next time and give promises for later. You don't need to go into explanations about how you can't possibly do it. You can even say, thanks for asking, I have another commitment, or I'm choosing something else at this time. That might be the thing that you're saying yes to. So keep it simple when responding. You don't need to go into big explanations. And sometimes I find it helps, especially if you're a person who feels bad or guilty about saying no, like you're letting someone down or disappointing them. Before you say no, maybe take a deep breath and put a smile on your face. So you're saying no from a place of gratitude, like, hey, thanks for asking, and no, and trust that they'll be okay over there on the other side. You're going to want to expect some discomfort. It's not going to be easy or comfortable for you, especially if you've been a yes person for most of your life. So I just want you to know to expect it to be uncomfortable, to maybe feel awkward, and to be a bit bumpy. And because of that, practice. Practice makes progress. So I invite you to find some things that you can say no to. And maybe even challenge yourself to saying no to one thing a day. Maybe it's something small and inconsequential to get you practice so you can build up for those bigger things where it might be more challenging for you to say no. No isn't selfish, it's honoring you and what matters most to you. When you're saying yes to everybody else, you're allowing their priorities to overtake your priorities. This is your life that you're living. Make sure it's one that you're living well and one that you're intentional and aligned with. Remember, when you're out and about, saying no is not selfish. Saying no is honoring you and what matters most to you.